Take the greatest endurance athletes and most tenacious competitors. Put them in some of the most beautiful natural spots in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, XTERRA is back. 2020 threw our XTERRA community a curveball. But it didn't stop the triathletes and trail runners from all around the world to train hard in anticipation of racing in 2021. Now in its 25th year, the XTERRA family is once again assembling. From the elite competitors battling against the best of the world in the sport, to the age group racers aiming to get better and better, to the beginners for whom crossing the finish line is the achievement of a long-time goal. XTERRA races offer a unique physical challenge to competitors of all abilities and levels of performance. Whether you're swimming, mountain biking, or trail running, our events have something for everyone. From a family 5K to the ultra marathon in some of the most pristine and spectacular natural environments Mother Nature has to offer, and the coveted Maui World Championship slots that our triathletes fight so hard for. This season will bring you the stories, the triumphs and defeats of these amazing athletes, the stunning locations, and the dedicated crew and volunteers who together make up the XTERRA community. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the USA. Our first major race of the season brings us to Oak Mountain State Park in Shelby County, Alabama. About 13 minutes outside Birmingham, this gorgeous location is steeped in Civil War history, outdoor beauty, and Southern hospitality. Over the course of 2 days, the triathletes and trail runners from over 40 different states and multiple countries will let those details fade into the periphery as they focus on getting from start to finish as fast as the previous year's training will allow.
2020 was a tough year for a lot of people. Speaking of training, we caught up with some of the elites to see how the year was like without the incentive of racing.
Look, 2020 was, it was a funny year. I wouldn't say it was a complete low in my life. I think, having the racing being taken away from you, you definitely start to realise how much you genuinely actually really enjoy it. It's not just that you turn up and you do it because it's what you do. It is a genuine, love of the sport and the racing.
2020, I guess it kind of either made or broke you or made you. Having a year off racing, it definitely made you realise how much you enjoyed the sport and how much you enjoyed hurting yourself and racing. So yeah, it makes you more hungry, I think, this year because you had the year off and it made you realise I actually want to do this and I want to make it myself better. So yeah, to be back racing in 2021, it's amazing.
2020 was a disruptive year for a lot of people, myself included. I think I did a fairly good job of making lemonade out of lemons, right? And tried to take advantage of the situation.
XTERRA World Champs in 2020 would have been a really big focus of mine for the season. So not getting to race was incredibly disappointing. Not to mention it's a massive part of our social life. It's the way myself and my wife Nina, we live our lives and we travel a lot, spend a lot of time on the road. So for all of that to be taken away was really a tough pill to swallow and kind of threw a massive curveball into our day-to-day routines and having to refocus as an athlete and figure out where to next was pretty tough.
Really excited to be back here in Alabama. It's been a long year and a half. Really excited to do a triathlon, excited to do an XTERRA, and just I think it sounds a little cliche, but a lot of gratitude just to be back racing and be back in the XTERRA family.
To say these athletes are raring to go is an understatement. With the kickoff to the season here in Oak Mountain and races around the world scheduled, including Kenting, Taiwan, Ogden, Utah, Zittau, Germany, Prachatice, Czech Republic, Toscolano Maderno, Italia, and of course, the World Championships in Maui, Hawaii, the stakes have never been higher, nor the sense of community stronger. XTERRA Adventures is presented by Tea Tree, The Experience. Discover the magic of Tea Tree. Discover Shelby. Come discover Shelby County, Alabama. This segment is presented by Tea Tree, botanical infused hair care for all hair types and textures. These athletes may have the upcoming season in mind, but the focus today is Oak Mountain, where the stage is set to see the triathletes don their race apparel once again to tackle the impressive and challenging trails and even more impressive competition.
The XTERRA community has been coming to Oak Mountain for 15 years now, and still, its natural beauty leaves us in awe.
Open water, towering trees, mossy trails and friendly wildlife all make for the perfect setting. This 10,000-acre state park sits in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains and serves up over 50 miles of beautiful trails for biking, hiking, and running, all maintained and built by the Birmingham urban mountain peddlers who always keep flow and sustainability in mind. There are also 2 large 85-acre lakes for swimming, fishing, and other water sports. All of this combines to make XTERRA Oak Mountain an athlete favorite.
Oak Mountain, I think, is probably the best course in America. You know, that it kind of feels a little bit similar to home. So it's cool to be able to race in XTERRA in what I believe should be the future of the sport, you know, these really technical courses.
Trails here at Oak Mountain are world class. Like, they're so fun, they're so well built and maintained.
XTERRA Oak Mountain, to me, I had no idea what to expect. I haven't spent much time down here, but like after having been here for a couple days, it seems like it's a bit of a hidden gem. Trails seem incredible.
Coming out from Stellenbosch, which is a very well-known mountain bike destination around the world, I was convinced at the time that nowhere could match Stellenbosch, and Oak Mountain does that and more.
Oak Mountain has to be one of the top races on the XTERRA, I guess XTERRA planet, over Europe races, obviously in America and New Zealand. The trails here are amazing.
It's got rocks, it's got roots, it's got flowing, it's got some technical stuff.
There's a little bit of everything, and it's just really fun to be riding at speed through the trees here. It's really cool.
It is a race that I never want to miss, just because it does an amazing job with the trail maintenance and building everything.
This is a very unique venue, and a lot of people wonder, you know, what is it in Alabama? And you have to come and see it to believe it. But it's these amazing trails here. You're in the hardwoods, you've got roots, rocks, and just really well-built trails. Anybody who's raced here definitely puts it up high on their list.
With no XTERRA races for over a year, questions about which athletes will be vying for top spots remains to be seen. 2019 defending women's champion Susie Snyder is hopeful to reclaim her title, but she'll be up against Samantha Kingsford, Amanda Felder, and Kelly Montgomery, all looking to improve on their 2019 performances. On the men's side, defending champ from 2019, the Kiwi, Sam Osborne, has already competed in a few XTERRA races in his home country of New Zealand in 2021.
It wasn't an easy thing to commit to coming all the way over here. New Zealand, we've kind of isolated ourselves from the rest of the world, so yeah, look, it was definitely a hustle. We were so desperate to come over and race again, and I guess just hungry for that international competition.
The 2018 champion and runner-up in 2019, Josiah Middaugh from the USA, spent time in Colorado stretching his racing limbs with snowshoe competitions and altitude training. 2 standouts from the road triathlon world, Eric Lagerstrom and Andrew Starkovitz, are making their XTERRA debut and hope to unseat some veterans of the field like Bran Smith and Kieran McPherson. Bradley Weiss hasn't raced at Oak Mountain in a few years, but is looking to carry over the momentum of his win at the 2019 XTERRA World Championships in Maui. Bradley Weiss also competes in road races, specifically Ironmans and half Ironmans. The South African spent the year off in Boulder, Colorado, to be able to continue training outdoors for when he got the call that races were back on.
The Honestly, it's almost like as if this is the first XTERRA I've ever done. Sort of trying to remind myself of all the check boxes, and it's a very different, it's a different animal to road racing. There's a lot more to it. Feels like the atmosphere is a lot more relaxed, a lot more fun, a lot more socially engaging. So it's something that I've been really looking forward to. Just connecting with mates that I've been on the road with for years. I started racing XTERRA in 2012, and it was just a part of my life. Month in, month out, I would connect with people from all over the world. So having an opportunity to finally get back to it is amazing. If I can grind a few guys down early on and get away, I think that'll probably be my game plan. Try and sort of stamp my authority early on the bike and then see if I can hang on before the late charging Josiah Middaugh comes through, as he always does.
Weiss didn't have to wait for a late charge, however. Once again went off to start the race on the shores of Double Oak Lake. Newcomer Erik Lagerström set a blistering pace and was first out of the water by about 40 seconds. Brad was in the chase pack with Sam Osborne, Elliot Bach, Ian King and Andrew Starkovitz, all vying to be second on the bike.
And then we've got some road guys, who have come across, and that always adds, like a really interesting dynamic. We've got Erik here, everybody knows his swim prowess, and I guess, everybody knows how he's going to approach the race. So it's kind of, hold on for dear life, see if we can hang on in the swim, limit our losses or whatever, and then obviously open the taps as much as we can on the bicycle.
Osborne did manage to emerge in the second position out of the transition and was able to reel in Lagerström quickly. While trying to stay on the wheel of Osborne, Lagerström unfortunately got a flat he wasn't able to patch and consequently didn't finish the race.
This left the door open for other contenders to put Osborne in their sights and home in on catching him. By the next transition, Weiss had pulled back time and was only 30 seconds behind Osborne, who still had the lead on the field.
Gap was 30 seconds I think it was coming transition over Brad, which is, it's not a lot, but then in the same way, it also is a bit. And I was kind of like, just try and push, the start of the run, the first couple of K, if he hears the splits going out rather than come back down. Hopefully that might break his heart a little bit.
Perhaps it was hearing those splits, because despite a valiant effort, Weiss simply couldn't catch Osborne, who lengthened his lead and took the tape by 2 minutes, with Weiss taking second.
I'm so stoked to be back racing and then to win the first race and I guess defend the title here.
The race for third was neck and neck between veterans Josiah Middaugh and Kieran McPherson. Despite coming out of the water 3 minutes behind the leader and going over the handlebars on the challenging Blood Rock section of the bike, Middaugh eventually took third by 27 seconds over McPherson. Elliot Bach rounded up the top 5. On the women's side, Osborne's longtime girlfriend and fellow Kiwi, Samantha Kingsford, was first out of the water by just 3 seconds.
In 2019 I got third, so yeah, this year I really want to take that win. I didn't travel halfway across the world to come and get second or third, so yeah, I really want to win this race.
That unabashed will to win would serve her well, as she grew those 3 seconds over the course of the race and ended up taking the win by more than 4 minutes.
And yeah, then when I came into the run, I just knew I had to take the first 5K out pretty hard. And then yeah, I just managed to continue the lead and get it bigger from there, so I was pretty happy with my race.
Amanda Felder, second out of the water, maintained her position until Blood Rock, where Susie Snyder overtook her. Snyder has won here at Oak Mountain 3 out of the last 4 races and was hoping to be able to go after Kingsford at this point and hang another gold around her neck. Unfortunately, her quads threatened to cramp up throughout the run, and Felder caught back up midway through the last leg to take second, with Snyder having to settle for third. Kelly Montgomery finished fourth, with Brandy Swicegood in fifth.
My motivator is 100% my daughter. Every moment that I'm out there on the course, I'm thinking about setting a good example for her, being the kind of role model that she will think of as she grows up, as setting the example of a strong woman who believes in herself and never gives up on herself.
For the amateur races, it was great to get families and friends back out enjoying nature and community. For many age group athletes, it was a reunion-filled day with high fives all around. Racers had numerous cheering sections, and the day ended with contented athletes anxious for what Oak Mountain will bring next year. No matter the division, Oak Mountain provided a beautiful race for the triathletes, with a meticulously maintained course which provided some with elation, others with heartbreak, and almost all with smiles.
XTERRA Adventures is presented by Tea Tree, The Experience. Discover the magic of Tea Tree. XTERRA, inspiring off-road adventure by connecting people and nature.
While the sun sets on the successful day of triathlon racing, the hard-working XTERRA crew and volunteers aren't done. As Sunday morning breaks, it's the trail runners who get their shot at conquering the roots, rocks and dirt of the Oak Mountain State Park trails.
With 5 disciplines, a 20K, 10K, 5K, 25K relay and an all-new marathon distance, hundreds of athletes take to the starting line to give it their all.
The marathon race is part of an all-new 9-event XTERRA Trail Marathon Series. Stops includes Taiwan, China, French Polynesia, Germany, France, Malta, Italy, Switzerland, and of course right here at Oak Mountain. The trail races bring a more local flavor than that of the championship triathlon. The community spirit runs through the events, with local running clubs coming from around the region and many races coming from the Birmingham area. Many participants are families running together, each choosing their preferred discipline.
First of all, it's a beautiful day, Mother's Day, and I'm a mom, so it was a nice way to celebrate. And then the kids race after, like my daughter got to run in the kids race, so it was a nice family day.
Jennifer McGranahan took home the win in the 20K distance on the women's side, while Birmingham local Nikki Harvey won the marathon distance.
It's about adventure. It really is about adventure and getting out and challenging yourself on very difficult courses and just kind of getting lost in the wilderness. That's what I love about XTERRA is you go to these amazing places and you just get on these trails, and yeah, it's about competition, but it's mostly about competition against yourself and enjoying the surroundings and, you know, taking a minute to appreciate what you're doing as well. Those of us who do this love the sport, love running, and you don't want it to go by too fast when you're out there because you really want to enjoy it when you're on the trail.
These athletes enjoying themselves on the trail is what XTERRA is all about. But they wouldn't be able to do so without the hard work that goes into each and every race by the XTERRA crew and volunteers. 2021 races needed extra logistical preparations to make sure safety and health were top of mind and accounted for.
The beautiful thing about having some time some downtime, shall we say, is to be able to figure out how we can conduct a race that's going to keep our folks safe, and you know, just some basic things like, you know, wearing a mask and social distancing and, sanitizing surfaces and just, doing everything we can to provide an environment that people can feel comfortable in, safe in, and be able to do their thing.
In addition to the wonderful volunteers and updated safety precautions, the XTERRA team is also committed to sustainability in all of its races. In Oak Mountain, the Birmingham Urban Mountain Peddlers worked with the XTERRA crew to ensure that when building trails for the event, natural resources are preserved. Trails are low maintenance, low erosion, and have low environmental impact. The Bump crew has spent more than 100,000 hours on trails at Oak Mountain over the past 20 plus years. To recognize that hard work and commitment to sustainability, XTERRA donated $2,000 to Bump on behalf of the XTERRA community.
That concludes our first XTERRA race here in the USA. Join us next time as we cross the Atlantic to Europe for the short track.
Action-packed race, short and spectacular, where we follow two races, the first in Italy and the second in Czech Republic.